What's so great about My Big Campus? You have the Shared Resources Library for smarter filtering. You have monitored Web 2.0 tools. We'll get more into monitoring here in just a little bit, but these tools are monitored. My Big Campus is monitored both by your district and by My Big Campus staff for safer interaction and collaboration. And since your district is a Lightspeed web filtering customer, you guys have integrated your Lightspeed web filter with My Big Campus so that you can continue to keep things like YouTube blocked outside of My Big Campus. However, when you find a YouTube video that you believe has educational merit, you can bring that into My Big Campus and engage students with that video. Incidentally, if you're not a Lightspeed customer, that's where the library is where you might experience some problems. Because if you're blocking YouTube with somebody else's web filter, YouTube will still be blocked inside of My Big Campus. My Big Campus doesn't sync with anybody else's web filter. Resources and library safeguards. CEQA compliance is enforced at submission. Talk about this second point for just a second. All files that are uploaded to My Big Campus undergo virus scanning, which I think is pretty cool. I actually, at my own campus, had some teachers who would call me and say, I can't get a file to upload, and I would go and check it out. I would see a prompt that says it has a virus. So My Big Campus detects a virus on a particular file. It will prevent that file from being uploaded. Practical classroom aspects of this are, if you're cruising around My Big Campus at home or at school and you find you're prompted to download a file, you can download it with ease knowing that it is virus-free. Usual security suspects that are blocked from submission. .exe, .bat, and .zip files have limited support on My Big Campus. The reason being is that these are typically the file types that knuckleheads will upload onto a system and bring viruses into a system. So these file types have limited support on My Big Campus. User report abuse tabs. There is, throughout My Big Campus, there are user report abuse tabs so that users can police themselves despite our best efforts. If something inappropriate does make it on My Big Campus, users can just hit the report abuse tab and call a potential infraction to either district or My Big Campus staff, depending on the nature of the problem. On the back end, your district can run user activity reports. You can get individual activity reports, or you can get activity reports on an individual user. You can also get activity reports for your entire body of users, your entire district. But what's included in that? Well, you can get suspicious image and suspicious activity reports. Suspicious activity would be suspicious words that have been used. You can see all files that have been uploaded to My Big Campus. Your district can see all of the files that you upload. They can see all the files that students can upload. If even deleted files, if a student uploads a file and then tries to delete it, it is a soft delete. On the back end, we can still see exactly what that student uploaded. And also, you can do word searches on the back end. And for instance, search the word party and see how many of your students have used the word party in the last hour, the last 3 hours, the last day, last week, and so on. It gets very, very granular. Safer collaboration through monitored Web 2.0 tools. Popping up right now are the monitored Web 2.0 tools that are available on My Big Campus. There is direct messaging, and before I get into this too heavily, just realize that a lot of these features are policy controlled. Think of policies as permissions, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But you can have direct messaging between users. There's assignments, quizzes, and polls. Private file storage. You as Lightspeed customers have unlimited file storage on My Big Campus. You can upload as many files as you wish, as long as that no one single file is over 100 megabytes. And 100 megs is roughly the size of a 15-minute video file. So you can have as many 100 meg files on My Big Campus as you choose. You just can't have anything larger than 100 megs. If you all are entering through free accounts, you can only get 2 gigabytes of free storage. Bundles. Bundles are a way, we'll go over bundles later in the training, but bundles are a way to aggregate or gather text, videos, files, and schoolwork into one self-contained online presentation. We're ready to discuss blogs and photo albums, the shared resources calendar. Down at the bottom, I want to discuss groups for just a second. Groups in My Big Campus speak are your online classroom. It's where the rubber meets the road for you as teachers. Each group is created with an announcement section, a discussion board, video chat option, wiki-like pages, resource section, and a calendar. You as teachers can go in and you can adjust. You can turn these features on and off to suit your own classroom needs. For example, the video chat component, the video chat feature has two components. It has a video chat feature and it has a text chat feature. The video chat feature is not recorded. I'll say that again. The video chat feature is not recorded. The safety mechanism is that only a teacher or an administrator, a non-student user if you will, can go in and initiate the video chat. And once the teacher or administrator leaves the chat room, the video chat ceases. However, students are still able to type across the text chat. The text chat cannot be deleted, but it is the only part of the site that is not live filtered. So what we recommend is that if a teacher is not prepared to actively monitor the video chat, go ahead and turn that off via the group controls, and I'll show you that a little bit later. District technology staff can also disable that through policies. My Big Campus collaboration safeguards. I mentioned a while ago, My Big Campus offers access controlled by policy. What does that mean? Think of policies as permissions. If you want students to have the ability, if you want to inhibit the student's ability to make Facebook-style wall posts, go into your policies and turn that off. That's done at the district level. However, if you want to keep that ability for teachers, you can keep that ability on for teachers. So there are two different policies for teachers and for students. Profanity interception. My Big Campus has profanity interception in English and in Spanish. If a student types any profanity, that will appear as the punctuation symbols. Now I'm going to talk for just a second, not as a Lightspeed employee, but I'm going to talk as a teacher. Do we have students in Cal Allen that kick the tires, like to push limits, or do you all teach angels?
Oh, all angels.
All angels. All right, well, this shouldn't be a problem. Where I taught, students like to kick the tires. So one day I am standing out in the hallway, and my room was at a T intersection. At a T junction between two hallways. How many have ever noticed that students can either be the most observant beings God ever created, or they can be completely oblivious? Exactly. So two students rounded the corner, did not see me standing there, and this is all I heard. Yeah, we put a space in between the letters of each word, and the filter didn't catch it. All I needed to hear. I knew instantly what they were doing, so I went back to my room, and I started on the back end of My Big Campus. I started entering cuss words that had a space in between each letter, and I caught them red-handed. Now, we as teachers know that sometimes it's a cat and mouse game between students. If we designed a filter to catch a cuss word with a space between each letter, what would students do?
Two spaces.
Two spaces, and if we designed the filter to do that, what would they do? Put three spaces or a star or whatnot. So speaking as a teacher who has dealt with this, if it becomes a problem, you can find that students will tell you the code that they're using. And so what I appreciated about My Big Campus is that I could go in on the back end, and once I found the code, I could search and see what they were doing. Now, a couple of those kids that we found in that little group were athletes, and I had been working with them ever since they were 6th graders, and they were now about to be 8th graders. And I know some of them were looking to rely on college scholarships, athletic scholarships. And I don't know if you've heard or not, but colleges are starting to Google their scholarship applicants. And so I pulled those athletes aside and I said, look, I hope you're not talking this way out on the open internet. Because if you are, do you really think a college is going to give you money if you're saying things like that? Do you think a college really wants you representing them this way online? And you know, you got this sword, Mr. K. I got that out of them, but I made several of them think. And the profanity filter helped make that possible. Flesh tone scanning of images. I love this one. Flesh tone scanning of images. Your JPEG files, any still image that is uploaded to My Big Campus, undergoes flesh tone analysis. So your JPEG files, your PNGs, as those are uploaded to My Big Campus. Those undergo flesh tone analysis. If My Big Campus, or if our flesh tone filters determine that there are too many flesh tones in a particular image, that image is quarantined for your district or My Big Campus staff to approve. Incidentally, I found out last November that pumpkin pie has a lot of flesh tones in it, so pictures were delayed getting on My Big Campus. We're not going to leave you out there hanging if you have a question. My Big Campus has a frequently asked questions section. It's located in the upper right in the drop-down menu under your name. In that FAQ, you will find community help video tutorials, and perhaps our most popular line of support is Bob Campus himself. Bob Campus is actually located on the link from your activity feed. I'll show you where to find Bob here in just a little bit. Bob is our most popular line of support because Bob is actually a live person. Bob is actually a team of Lightspeed employees, both here in the United States and in the United Kingdom. For you as teachers, Bob is an excellent go-to resource on site operations. If you're working on the weekend, you're preparing lesson plans for the next week, and you have a quick question about how to create an assignment, how to do this, how to do that, you can log on to Bob's wall and you can ask Bob. Bob is pretty good at responding within 5 to 15 minutes, depending on site activity. For your students, Bob is also a very excellent resource on site operations. If they have a question about how to do this or that, they can go in and ask Bob, and believe me, they will. They have no qualms about asking Bob anything. What's your favorite team? What's your favorite food?
And he is pretty quick. Last year, when I was playing around with it, wanted to see if it was really true about Bob, and I asked a few questions, and he was pretty prompt about it.
Yeah, we have a team monitoring that 24 hours a day. Like I said, give it 5 to 15 minutes depending on site activity. We're pushing 2 million or 3 million users now, so just kind of give it 5 to 15 minutes. But Bob should be in there and helping you out. One other important benefit that Bob provides for students is Bob reinforces the digital citizenship and the etiquette skills that we teachers are presenting in class. For instance, if a student chimes on Bob's wall and says, "Hey Bob, how old are you?" Bob will respond by saying, "I am older than any one member of One Direction, and I am younger than the president." It's not appropriate or safe to reveal personal information like age and your location online. So Bob is reinforcing those skills. In addition, Bob is a safe online friend. Got to talk to one of Bob's a couple of years ago, and he was telling me he had a student log in, and the student said, "Bob, I'm scared to go to school." Bob said, "Well, why are you scared to go to school?" And the child said, "Because I'm being bullied." Bob immediately went in to that school's emergency contacts on My Big Campus, contacted district administration. Next day, the child was brought into the counselor's office, got the help that was needed. A day or two later, the child logged back into Bob's wall and said, "Thanks, Bob, I'm no longer scared to go to school." Bob is a very, very important resource. What we want to go ahead and do now, if you'll go ahead and log into My Big Campus, and it looks like you are already there, most of you are already there anyway, I kind of want to bring up the activity feed. Now my activity feed looks a little bit different than yours. I'm looking around and I'm seeing that some of you are getting your first time activity feeds, and that's fine. I want to talk to you a little bit about what's going to come up on your activity feed. Your activity feed has a very social media type feel to it. What will appear here? Well, you will get the wall posts and blogs from the people that you are following. Those will appear on your My Big Campus activity feed. In addition, what will appear on your My Big Campus activity feed are any of the announcements and discussions from groups that you are a part of. So if you go into a group and you create a discussion, that discussion will appear on your activity feed. Students will also see that. Their activity feed is very, very, very similar to this. About the only thing, they don't have all the back-end controls that you have, and if you look in the upper left-hand corner of the screen, they do not have EduTalk. Other than that, their activity feed is going to look very, very similar to this. What I'm going to direct you to right now is up here in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. It is the drop-down menu. It's right underneath your name. And I kind of want to direct you there because there are some important things that we are going to work through really quickly. First thing that I want to call your attention to is help. And so if you will go up to the upper right and click on your name and get the drop-down menu and get the little help menu that comes up. I want to show you how you can get help if you need it. Now, if you're like me, patience is a virtue that God neglected to give me. So I'm the type that likes to go in and find answers for myself. What you can do here, and this is our FAQ section, is you can enter in a keyword search. You can either enter a full question or you can enter in a keyword. I typically type in a keyword, like the word assignment. And when I type in the word assignment, a dozen questions on that automatically pop up, and I can scroll through and I can click on any one of those. And if I don't want the pop-up menu, I can just type assignment and then click search, and those same questions will pop back up. So if you have questions about what to do, how do I do this, how do I do that, think of a key word inside of those questions. And this is how our FAQ section works. I'm not going to spend too much time on the FAQ. I just want you to be aware of where it is and how it works. From here, you're going to go right up to the My Big Campus logo in the upper left, and you're going to click on that logo, and it will take you back to your My Big Campus activity feed so that you can navigate back and get back to business. Next thing that I'm going to show you is back up in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. I want you to click on the drop-down menu, and I'm going to give you about 5 minutes to fill this information out. I want you to go to Account Information. You will not be able to change your first name, your last name, or your screen name. However, if you would like to include a salutation, you can do that. You can select a title for yourself, Dr., Mrs., Mr. Otherwise, My Big Campus will display your first name. So I came in when I was in the classroom, and I selected Mr., and that way my anywhere I posted it said Mr. Kitchens on there. So I'm going to give you about 5 minutes to kind of get this set up like you want it. Select your title. You can be a teacher, IT, vice principal, whatnot, the subject that you teach, grade level, your email address, mobile number. If you would like to receive text alerts from My Big Campus, you can put your mobile number in. And I'll give you guys 5 minutes to play around with that.
So you can also set up your mobile if you want to get that on your as text, or
Yeah,
if you don't want to
text.
get text, you can receive that as email as well.
Exactly.
Okay.
Oh, well, our number shows the students.
Your number will not show to the students. Good question. Just remember that standard texting rates apply. If you're
Every time someone sends you something or someone posts a remark, it's going to be going off like crazy.
well, I'll show you how to adjust that.
And you can adjust
I'll show
that
you how
right
to
here.
adjust those notification makers. That's next.
My kids do this blowing up.
Just an FYI about those text messages, what you will receive in those text messages is a very short little message. It'll just say, depending on what you selected to text you about, it will say so-and-so has posted on your wall or so-and-so has done this. It doesn't give you the actual message. You'll still have to log in to My Big Campus. I've been on and find out exactly what was messaged. I've been on the developers about getting those messages to be more specific than that, because sometimes it is kind of a hassle to get a text message and then log into My Big Campus and check it. It'd be nice if you could just have the message right through the text. And while we're on the subject of profile pictures, I believe in policy controls you have the ability to turn off turn off profile pics for students or to leave that on. I know districts who do it either way. There are some districts who say, no, we're teaching our students online etiquette and online professionalism, if you will. So we want students to have the ability to post profile pics, and if anybody puts anything up there that's questionable, we want to be able to, coach them on that. There are other districts who say, we don't want to mess with that right now, so we're turning it off. So I highly recommend that that be something that you all kind of negotiate in your own district and decide which side of that line you fall on. My big campus is granular, and that if you want to lock that ability down for students, you can lock it down. If you don't want to, if you want to teach them proper online behavior, you can do that as well. Give you about 1 more minute to finish up on your profile. I still hear some people typing on that. You can see some people uploading a profile pic or two. All right. Back up in the upper right-hand corner, as we've already had alluded to, your phone or your email might be going nuts. There is an administration tab in the upper right, and I just want to, for teachers who have this ability, I kind of want to go over it. I'm going up to the upper right, and I'm scrolling down to administration. If you do not see that pop up, it means that you do not have it. Your district can give you those rights if they choose, but here is where you could come in and you can add new users if you wish. Do you guys have reports? You do have reports. Click on reports for me. This is where you can come in and you can see suspicious activity. This will be for your, it's either for your, I think it's for your school. You'll see suspicious activity. So you can come in and you can do, you will just see, as teachers, you will just see suspicious activity. On the other end of the spectrum, district administration will be able to see suspicious images and files. This is where, if you wish, you can come in and you can enter a word search, if you will, and you'll notice the search criteria that you have. You have posts, you have everything, and that's excluding conversations in MBC docs. You have posts, that would be wall posts. Items would be files that students have uploaded. Conversations would be the private conversations that students are having through messaging. And once again, via policy controls, you can set those conversations so that students can message themselves, or pardon me, students can message everybody, students can only message their teachers, or students can message no one. You got spam conversations and MBC documents. If you wanted to enter a word to search, you could come in and search using created or containing, and then the length of your search, the last hour, the last day, last week, and so on. And then notice that you can also search deleted and non-deleted content, or just deleted only or non-deleted only. So you have some granular controls there.